Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Advait Gadadhar Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiv Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiv Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopi Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी, वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। तुलसी राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय।
जय
Jai.
Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hope everyone enjoyed the weekend. Back to Srimad Bhagvatam. And Hare Krishna, Shivam.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, how are you?
Good, how are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you.
क्या गजन आपका बर्थडे आज?
हाँ यार, आज बर्थडे है.
हैप्पी बर्थडे टू यू.
Thank you so much. या तो अपन भगवत पुराण पढ़ रहे हैं, right? And we have completed the first canto, which was about the creation, right? In creation, we saw so many stutis and how Lord Krishna's appearance and then disappearance from Dwarika and so on and so forth. And so now we are reading cantos 2, which is the cosmic manifestation. And इसके अपने 2 chapter complete करे हैं, as you can see. And इसमें सुखदेव गोस्वामी जी is answering Parikshit Maharaj's questions on like what a person should do when he is about to leave this material world, right? And that's what Sukhdev Goswami ji is answering. And the first step in God realization is we read, right, how Sukhdev Goswami ji is saying you can do the Om realization, and then you know how you can do the Virat Swarup meditation, and then how you can start thinking about Lord Krishna. And then in the chapter 2, we saw how you can see the Lord in the heart. Yeah, how can you see Supreme Lord Krishna in the heart, right? हृदय में कैसे उनका स्थान करें. And then we had the last shlok, which let's just quickly look at it. Yeah, and in last shlok, what Sukhdev Goswami is saying is that those who drink through the oral reception, fully filled with the nectarian message of Lord Krishna, the beloved of the devotees, purify the polluted aim of life as known as a material enjoyment, right? So like all of us, we think, what is life? I need to enjoy this, I need to do that. That is the material enjoyment. And Sukhdev Goswami is calling it as polluted aim of life. That is an aim of life, but that's polluted. That's not really good. But how you purify that polluted aim of the life is by filling with the nectarian message of Lord Sri Krishna. And once you do that, then Sukhdev Goswami is saying, and does go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of him, the personality of Godhead. And that is the highest realization in life. That should be the goal of life. And further, Sukhdev Goswami is saying is that, and by constant hearing of messages of the Bhagavad Gita and then Srimad Bhagvatam, one is assured herein by Srila Sukhdev Goswami that he will reach the personality of Godhead and render him transcendental loving service in the spiritual planet of the name Golok Vrindavan, which resembles a huge lotus flower, right? So that's where we ended chapter 2. And then in Adhyay 3 is about the pure devotional service, the change in heart. So in second chapter we saw how we should meditate on Lord Shri Krishna in the heart, और फिर कैसे हृदय परिवर्तन हो सकता है, how you can get back to the devotional service is what Sukdev Goswami is now explaining to Parikshit Maharaj. Reena ji.
श्री शुक उवाच एवमे तन्निगदितं पृष्ठवान् यद्भवान् मम नृणां यन्म्रियमाणानां मनुष्येषु मनीषिणाम्. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, as you have inquired from me as to the duty of the intelligent man who is on the threshold of death, so I have answered you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So that's what Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Yeah, I've answered your questions, and some of those purports are so important. I think we should read those through. And I think this one is also really nice. A lot of knowledge in this. So let's read Shivam. Can you read up to here?
Yeah. In human society all over the world, there are millions and millions of men and women, and almost all of them are less intelligent because they have very little knowledge of spirit soul. Almost all of them have a wrong conception of life, where they identify themselves with gross and subtle material bodies, which they are not, in fact. They may be situated in different high and low positions in the estimation of human society, but one should know definitely that unless one inquires about his own self beyond the body and the mind, all activities in human life are total failures. Therefore, out of thousands and thousands of men, one may inquire about his spirit self and thus consult the revealed scriptures like Vedanta Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagvatam. But in spite of reading and hearing such scriptures, unless one is in touch with a realized spiritual master, he cannot actually realize the real nature in self, etc. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, right? So it's saying like out of, as we know, right, thousands and thousands of men, one may inquire about the spirit, understand Atma, right? And then really look at the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And then let's just continue to read this. Is Soham there? Sure. Oh,
No.
no, that's fine. Yeah, Sachin, would you read?
And out of thousands and hundreds of thousands of men, someone may know that what Lord Sri Krishna is in fact. In the
Charitmrit.
Charitra Charitramrata, in the Chaitanya Charitamrata, Madhya 20.122-123, it is said that Lord Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, prepared the Vedic literatures in the incarnation of Vyasadeva for reading by the intelligent class of men in a human society which is almost totally forgetful of the genuine relation with Krishna. Even such an intelligent class of men may be forgetful in their relation with the Lord. The whole Bhakti Yoga process is therefore a revival of lost relation. Hare Krishna.
Right. So you see this. So Vyasdev as we had seen, right, is the incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna, right? When we went through the, if you remember, if we went through the summary of 24 incarnations, and Vyasdev is the incarnation, right, of Lord Sri Krishna. And what he's saying is that Lord Sri Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, right? Otherwise, we will have no idea about why are we here, who are we, what are we trying to do, right? So how do we understand this? So that is why Vyasdev as an incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna, he created this knowledge base, right? What is being mentioned here. And let's, Tarun, would you read?
Sure. This revival is possible in the human form of life, which is obtained only out of the evolutionary cycle of 8,400,000 species of life. The intelligent class of human being must take a serious note of this opportunity. Not all human beings are intelligent, so the importance of human life is not always understood. Therefore, Manishinam, meaning thoughtful, is particularly used here. A Manishinam person like Maharaja Parikshit must therefore take to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and fully engage himself in devotional service. Hearing, chanting, etc. of the holy name and pastimes of the Lord, which are all Hare, Katharmta.
Kathamrit.
This action is specially recommended when one is preparing for death. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So such an important purport. That's why we wanted to read. And you can see, we all know about the 8.4 million cycles, right? That's very well known. Yeah. And what it's saying is essentially that, Hari Kathamrit is really recommended at the end of the day, right? So we welcome Rasik Shyam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, and we have the youngest devotee joining our satsang today. So he's 1 year, 2 years old, Prabhuji? Oh, 4 years. Okay. So he's still the youngest. Yeah. So nice. All right, so we'll continue. And now this one has all the 7 shloks together. So we'll just read one by one. Let's see. अनिल जी आप खाली श्लोक पढ़ना
जी अच्छा ठीक है ब्रह्म वर्चस कामस्तु यजेत ब्रह्मणा पतिम इंद्रमिंद्र य कामस्तु प्रजा कामा प्रजापतिं देवीं मायां तु श्री कामस्ते जस कामो विभासुम वसु कामो वसून रुद्रान वीर कामो अथ वीर्यवान अन्नाद्य कामस्त विदितं स्वर्ग कामोदिते सुतान विश्वान देवान राज्य कामः साध्यान संसादको विशाम आयुष कामो शनि देव पुष्टिकामिलाम यजेत प्रतिष्ठा कामा पुरुषो रोदसी लोकमातरो रूपाभिकामो गंधर्वान स्त्री कामोप्सरा उर्वशीम आधिपत्य कामः सर्वेषां यजेत परमेष्ठिनं यज्ञं यजेद यशस् कामः कोश कामः प्रचेतसं विद्या कामस्तु गिरीशं दाम्पत्यार्थमुमासतीम्.
Krishna. Nisha, would you read the translation?
One who desires to be absorbed in the impersonal Brahmajyoti effulgence should worship the master of the Vedas, Lord Brahma or Brahaspati, the learned priest. One who desires powerful sex should be worshipped the heavenly king Indra, and one who desires good progeny should worship the great progenitors called the Prajapatis. One who desires good fortune should worship Durga Devi, and the superintendent of the material world. One desiring to be very powerful should worship fire, and one who aspires only after money should worship the Vasus. One should worship the Rudra incarnations of Lord Shiva if he wants to be a great hero. One who wants a large stock of grain should worship Aditi. One who desires to attain the heavenly planet should worship the sons of Aditi. One who desires a worldly kingdom should worship Vishwadeva. And one who wants to be popular with the general mass of population should worship the Sadhya demigod. Hare Krishna. Should I continue? आप म्यूट पे हो.
Yeah, I'm on mute finally. Shivam, would you read, please? Sure.
One who desires a long span of life should worship the demigods known as the Aswini Kumaras, and a person desiring a strongly built body should worship the earth. One who desires a stability in his post should worship the horizon and earth combined. One who desires to be beautiful should worship the beautiful residents of the Gandharva planet. And one who desires a good wife should worship the Apsaras and the Urvasi society girls of the heavenly kingdom. One who desires domination over others should worship Lord Brahma. and the head of the universe. One who desires tangible fame should worship the personality of Godhead, and one who desires a good bank balance should worship the demigod Varun. If one desires to be greatly learned man, he should worship Lord Shiva, and if one desires a great marital status relation, he should worship the caste goddess Uma, the wife of Lord Shiva.
Yes. Yeah, it's called Uma. So you see, right, like all these shlokas are describing, like, hey, you can get anything in this world you want, and depending on what you really want, you can worship a specific demigod, right? So, and we know a lot of those, right? So that is what is described here. And again, it's a great purport. So let's basically, there are different modes of worship for different persons desiring success in particular subjects. Yeah, and giving an example here is of even Ravan, right? Ravan was made a very powerful man by worshipping Lord Shiva. So anyone can get anything they want. And he used to offer several heads to please Lord Shiva. He became so powerful that all demigods were afraid of him, right? Even Devatas, everyone was afraid of him. And until at last, challenged by the personality of Godhead, Sri Ramchandra, and thus ruined himself, right? So, I mean, and again, like Sukdev Goswami ji is saying, though, I mean, let's just read this one here. Tarun, would you read?
Sure. Sukdev Goswami said that out of the 8,400,000 species of living entities, the human form of life is rare and valuable. And out of those rare human beings, those who are conscious of the material problems are rarer still. And the still more rare persons are those who are conscious of the value of the Srimad Bhagvatam, which contains the message of the Lord and his pure devotees. Death is inevitable for everyone, intelligent or foolish. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Yeah, right. So how you see that? Like, this is very rare. Like, how many people are reading Srimad Bhagavatam? Think about that, right? And Reena ji, aap padhenge?
But Parikshit Maharaj has been addressed by the Goswami as the Manishi, or the man of highly developed mind, because at the time of death, he left all material enjoyment and completely surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord by hearing his message from the right person, Sukadev Goswami. But aspirations for material enjoyment by endeavoring persons are condemned. Such aspirations are something like the intoxication of the degraded human society. Intelligent persons should try to avoid these aspirations and seek instead the permanent life by returning home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So you can worship anyone depending on what you want. And if you don't want anything, and that's what will be the next shlok, if you don't want anything, you worship Lord Sri Krishna. And you can go back to life. Go ahead. Siksham Prabhuji, I think we'll pause here. If you want to say a few words. आप म्यूट पे हैं.
यहाँ पर तो पूरा लिस्ट ही है. अगर जो भौतिक ऐश्वर्य मटेरियल ऑपुलेंसेस किसको चाहिए तो स्पेसिफिक डेमी गॉड का नाम दिया गया है, वहां पर हम उनका वर्शिप करके प्राप्त कर सकते हैं. एट द एंड हमको ये बताया गया है कि अगर मोक्ष कामी है, जिसको मोक्ष चाहिए, उसको सिर्फ और सिर्फ भगवान विष्णु या भगवान कृष्ण का ही वर्शिप करना चाहिए, उनकी भक्ति करना चाहिए. इसके संबंध में एक छोटी कथा है. भगवान बद्री विशाल के पास उनके मंदिर प्रांगण में ही एक महापुरुष का मंदिर भी है, जो कि भगवान शिव के भक्त थे. और उन्होंने उनका नाम है घंटाकर्ण. और वो भगवान शंकर के पास गए कि मुझे मोक्ष चाहिए, और भगवान शंकर ने उनसे कहा कि मोक्ष मैं नहीं देता हूँ, अब उसके लिए आपको कहाँ जाना पड़ेगा, भगवान विष्णु की उपासना करनी पड़ेगी। और उसके लिए उन्होंने उनको भगवान बद्रीधाम में भेजा, भगवान बद्री विशाल के समक्ष, और उन्होंने वहां पर वर्शिप किया है, उनका दर्शन प्राप्त हुआ है, और भगवान ने उनको मोक्ष प्रदान किया है। ये कहानी एक उदाहरण है इसका, और आज भी घंटा कर्ण का मंदिर वहां पर है, ये इस चीज को साक्ष्य है, प्रमाण है।
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Anyone, any comments, questions? Right. So there's so much knowledge base in Srimad Bhagvatam, right? It's even described. If you want anything specific, you can worship whom, and if you want something else, you can worship whom. But what is the real ultimate goal in life? So that's nice.
हाँ, आगे भागवतम में देखिए ना, परिचिता का भी स्टोरी जाएगा आगे, जहाँ लॉर्ड शिवा भगवान विष्णु के उपासना के लिए परिचिता को भेजते हैं और मंत्र भी देते हैं। तो देवी गॉड्स के लिए कहा गया कि अगर हम उनका पूजा कर रहे हैं, उनके उपासक हैं, तो हम जा करके उनको कुछ मांगे नहीं, बस उनके पूजा करें, उपासना करें, और उनसे बोले जो इच्छा हो आप हमें दीजिए। तो वो लोग हमको भगवान कृष्ण के, भगवान विष्णु को भक्ति की तरफ डायरेक्ट कर देते हैं। ये उनका नियम है, और बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल पढ़े हैं शास्त्रों में।
राइट, अगर शास्त्र देखेंगे तो we'll realize that, right? Yeah. Good. So we'll hear the kirtan for a few minutes.
Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna